Okay, welcome back to part 2. In this video I'm going to show you some other cool things that we can do with extrusions. What I would like you to do first is, if you still have those original shapes, we're going to kind of build off of them a little. Doesn't matter which one, but I'd like you to go ahead and press Start 2D Sketch again. And then I want you to click on one of these shapes. Now you might remember last time we actually clicked on the plane and that's how we got started. But now any flat surface can act as a plane. So I'm going to click on that one. And then I'm going to draw in another shape. So we focused on these last time. Let's go ahead and draw in a circle this time. And if you want, you can draw in an ellipse if you'd like. But I'm just going to stick with the default circle. Once again, test these out. Just try to draw them on your screen and they will make sense rather quickly. So I'm going to click circle, draw a circle on my screen, press finish sketch, and now we have a circle. I'm going to go to extrude, and you'll notice right away that it's extruding. It is extruding the same amount as before, 4.5625 inches, according to this, because it's just using the amount that was used previously. I can adjust it, I can make it less, so if I made it 1, you'll notice right away that it made the shape. So I pressed OK, and now I have that. We just built a solid on top of another solid. Like so. And you can kind of get the idea of how we can make more complex things. Let's go ahead and make one more sketch on top of the sketch that we already did, or on top of the 3D form. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an ellipse, like so. And now I have an ellipse. I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to go to extrude, but this time, instead of extruding it outwards, what I would like you to do is turn it around. And if I flip that arrow around, you're going to notice I'm cutting into the shape. Extrude has a second option. It's called cut. And it can cut through any solid object that currently exists in the program. Now there are two ways to do this. One is to grab the arrow and turn it around, and that works the majority of the time. The other is to switch it to cut in your extrude options. So this is extrude. The second one is cut, and if you press cut, it will automatically cut. But if you notice, it's not cutting in the correct direction. It's cutting up here, and right now there's air over here. And if you try to cut air, like don't do this, but I'm going to show you. If you try to cut air and I press OK, you will get an error because you can't cut nothing if there's nothing to cut. So I'm going to press cancel. Let me extrude that again. Go to cut. What you want to do is, if you're kind of stuck like this, switch the direction to another direction. So that's direction that we're going in right now, direction 1. I'm going to press direction 2, and we're going to switch direction. It's now cutting in the opposite direction, and that is acceptable. Alternatively, we can cut in both directions uniformly. If I press this, now it's kind of going half and half based on how I created it. And if I increase one, it increases the other, as you can see. And we can also do this asymmetrically. So if I press on the asymmetric option, I can kind of choose how far to go in one direction and how far to go in the other direction. And so long as I'm cutting something, it won't generate an error. So I'm going to press OK, and you'll notice right away that it was successful in able to cut that. Cool. One more thing I want to do. Let's start one more 2D sketch. Let's draw in a circle over here. Finish the sketch. Extrude. That was extrude. That was cut. The third one is known as intersect. And what intersect does is it kind of erases everything else except your focus points. So let me show you out of the circle. Imagine the circle. I'm going to intersect the shape. And you're going to notice that everything that isn't relevant, everything that isn't part of that shape would be cut out. So that all I'm left with is the important key feature. And that's also really useful later on. The fourth option is creating a brand new solid, which honestly looks the exact same as extrude. The only difference is when I press OK, In my solid bodies folder, I have a secondary solid body, which is this. This is now its own entity, and I can essentially use it as its own entity, and I will show that later on. So it is useful if it's like kind of a part of the part, but a different part, all in the same file. Okay, but we don't need to use that one a whole lot right now. Let me go ahead and undo that. Extrude one more time. Since we've made shapes right now and we extruded them, they'll always turn out perfectly, but sometimes it might look like this. And if you see this, this isn't a 3D object. It's actually kind of like a wrapper. Like if you imagine a candy wrapper covering a Snickers bar, it's covering the wrapper, but it's hollow on the inside. You can crumble it. So this isn't a 3D object. This could not be 3D printed if we tried. And right now, it's called surface. It's just the surface of the object. It's not a true 3D object. So if you ever do that and you say like, oh, that's good, and you press OK, Inventor is going to make it very abundantly clear that that is not like the others. I'd kind of stay away from extruding surfaces. They aren't that useful. Not now, at least. Okay. So anyway, whoops. I'm going to undo it to get back, circle back, extrude that back out, and press OK. So now we have this amazing work of art here. That's going to conclude this tutorials on extrusions. Next time we're going to focus more on sketching. So until then, I'll see you later.